Mahjong hapon sa tanan. Magandang hapon sa lahat. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Louis and Nora. Say hi, hon.
Hi.
Coming to you from the island of Leyte, the province of Southern Leyte, in the municipality of Macrahon. And today we are in Barangay Santo Niño, also known as Barangay Ahag. And this is Lassie, one of our neighbor's dogs. Lassie, say hi. She is busy doing something else. Lassie, say hi. Okay. And today we're going to start a series on training weapons in FMA. And I'm going to be walking around with the camera a bit. Won't be on the tripod as I talk. So I'll try to keep it as steady as possible. Here is just a part of my collection of stuff that I use in my practice and training. So we're going to start a discussion about training weapons in FMA. This won't cover improvised weapons or other like the tactical type stuff. This is just more along the lines of the traditional items that we'll be using in FMA and specifically in the Mabisa Arnis system. And I hope you enjoy the view, and it's a beautiful day today. The breeze is blowing. Nice sunny day up here on one of the hilltops near where we live. Very quiet and peaceful. It's a great place to make videos. Okay, so concerning training weapons in FMA. Well, there are several types, but specifically we divide this up into sticks and blades and empty hands. Now most people, when they talk about weapons in FMA, I don't know that they necessarily speak about empty hands. They kind of treat that as a separate subject. But to me, Filipino martial arts, it's a complete martial art already, utilizing concepts of fighting from stand-up to the ground and sticks, blades, and empty hand. And you know, your empty hands obviously are your weapons. With sticks specifically, there are long and short, thick and thin, light and heavy, depending on your preference or what you're doing, made out of rattan or out of wood, even man-made materials. And you can utilize them singly or in pairs. Now with blades, there's long and short, light and heavy. There's wood, various metals, and even various synthetic materials you can get for training. You can use folding blades as far as your everyday or your own personal self-defense needs, or fixed blades. Here, at least in this series, we'll be talking more about the fixed blade traditional type weapons. And then there's training weapons versus live. I do not recommend using live blades for training. It's just too dangerous. The opportunity for injury exists. I've seen people who advocate taking live blades and then covering the edge with tape. I'll just say personally, I think that's silly and it's dangerous. Now, there is the opinion that many people have that when you're using training blades, you lack the reality of what you're trying to do when you practice your techniques, because you know that blade can't kill you. It can't seriously injure you, although any training weapon could cause injury. But I don't think it's wise to try to take a live blade and just cover it with tape and then to practice with it. If you want to do that, that's up to you, but I don't advise it. We don't do it, and I would never recommend it. Now, as far as empty hands, you know, of course, we utilize the fists, the feet, elbows and knees, head and shoulders, forearms, thighs, shins, and even your teeth. Okay, so now what is needed? Well, that's basically up to the individual. As far as like a minimalist type setup that you would need, I know when I first started out in FMA, the training I was doing was in Balintawak, so I only needed one stick. The instructor I was studying with, we used single stick. And I did go ahead and get one training blade, but we actually never got into blades. We just always did single stick. I got a second stick because we did a little bit of Sinawali for warm-ups and coordination practice. So really, if your system is a single stick system, you could get by with just one single stick. For me, I think a good minimum kit for anybody, if you're a single stick system, would be one stick and one training blade and one dulo dulo. That way you can use a long weapon and short weapon and also a blade. If you're a double stick system, then obviously a pair of sticks, a training blade and a dulo dulo would be like a good minimum kit. And then it would be up to you if you want to use metal or wood as far as your blades and what type of stick you want to use. Financially, it just kind of depends on how much can you spend or how much do you want to spend. I'm not an advocate of spending tons of money if you don't have to. If you have the money and you want to spend it, you could buy, of course, whatever you like. What I do recommend to people is buy the best that you can afford. You don't want something that you're going to regret buying later on because it doesn't perform well, doesn't last, falls apart. Again, you know, a minimum kit, something you want to think about. Or you can also just, you know, it kind of becomes just part of, I think, being a practitioner of FMA. You pick up more and more items as you go along. It's just kind of part of the adventure. Depends on what places, where you go, maybe who you train with, if you go to seminars and things, or shows, trade shows, stuff like that. You can also be creative. You know, where you get your tools or even making your own, especially when it comes to sticks and dulo dulos. For instance, this pair of sticks right here, you zoom in a little bit, these two here in the center, not the two bahi and not the ones with tape, but right here, these are made from a wood here on the island of Leyte called magcha in a barangay called Gawisan. This magcha grows there, and this wood is really great. It's very hard, it's very durable, and it's got some good weight to it. And this, let me tell you, if you got hit with one of these, it's like getting hit with a steel pipe. These things are great. I love these sticks. I made these myself, and then I'll show you what I had left over. I made a pair of dulo dulo. This is the magcha with the bark still on it, and nothing fancy, and it fits my grip properly. And these are just another pair that I made. Very simple. I'm not some skilled craftsman. Anybody could do that. Okay. These other sticks I've bought over the years. And again, you can spend a lot of money. I know in the United States, I've seen sticks for up to $40 each, not even for a pair. I can't believe how the prices have gone up. Now, there's one place, here locally where I go and I harvest uway, which that's the Filipino word for rattan in Bisaya, uway. It's also called yantok. In Matinao, which is from where I live, I have to go to another barangay called Sindangan to start the hike up the river to go there, and it's about a 2.5-hour hike up into the mountains where we go to harvest the uway, the rattan. And that's free, just, you know, the cost of your sweat going up in there and the work to harvest it. Most of my sticks that I have, I've gotten here in the Philippines. I have a few from the United States that I got initially. I only have a pair of those here with me today. This pair here with the grooves on the handles. These came from Combat Instruments Limited. They sell sticks for training in Krabi Krabang. So I ordered these and cut them down a little bit. I like the grooves in the handles for grip. These are my Bahi sticks here. These are a couple of rattan pairs. I got these from Grandmaster Rodel Daguuk in Batangas. These are white waxwood. I had a staff I got in a Kung Fu supply shop in the United States, and I cut that down. These two here that are broken, one of them is from Combat Instruments Limited. You can see the grooves on the handle. And the one next to it with like the leopard spot burn pattern, that I got at Doce Pares in Cebu. That's a skinless stick, and I'll talk more about that when we do the video on sticks. Again, my magcha pair. Here's a pair of Bahi Garrote. Here's a pair of Bahi Dulo Dulo. One of my wooden training knives. Here's a wooden handled training karambit with the blade made out of horn, carabao horn. And my magcha Dulo Dulo. Here's a pair of rattan Dulo Dulo. And here's a wooden Dulo Dulo. And this Look at this guy. Hold on, I'm going to take a break. This big, you see all kinds of interesting insects and things here in the Philippines. I'm always very, there we go, curious about all the different wildlife and things I can see here. Sorry, we're taking a little segue to look at this guy. Okay, so anyway, back to the topic at hand. This piece of wood here is a practice daga that I use. That was part of a pair of sticks. The mate, the original mate is here, the light colored. This is, we call it here tugas. It's molave, this light colored stick. And that's what's left of the mate. This one broke. It actually broke going up against a rattan stick. So it was not made out of a piece of wood with the grain run in the proper direction, but what I saved I made for daga. So when I do espada daga, I use the original molave stick and then this one left over that I made a daga out of. But I haven't spent a lot of money on these. The most expensive sticks I have were the ones I bought in the US, to be honest. This pair here, I really love these sticks. I've had many of these. This one and the mate here with the tape on it, I got these in Manila in a little corner hardware store, if you could believe it. They sold rattan sticks for students in the school system that do rattan for part of their physical education course. And these have some decent weight, and they're very hard. This particular pair is about 3 years old, and I have wailed on hard sticks. I've metal pipe attempting to break these. That one there with the tape, just the skin started to split a little bit, and I wanted to prolong the life. That's why you see the tape on these sticks, and some of you I'm sure do the same thing, because the sticks do, the skin breaks and then they fall apart, and it can get expensive after a while, especially if you're buying them in a different country. But this pair, I wanted to talk about price. I bought these sticks for 25 pesos each, so I got the pair for 50 pesos, which at the current exchange rate is $1 US. Well, I got this pair, this particular pair, actually my wife gave it to me as a Christmas present, and I liked it so much we went back to the hardware store. I'd actually gone there with her and then she bought it while we were there. But we went back and I bought like 15 or 20 more pairs because they were so inexpensive and the sticks were so good. And I still have several pairs left. These are great. We might have to take a trip to Manila next year, and if we do and that hardware store is still there and they still have the sticks, I'm going to buy every single one they have. And you can also make your own, like I did with this white waxwood staff. And you can buy dowels, like at a hardwood store. You can use saplings if you have saplings on your property or access to those. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. And then blades, it's up to you. These are training bolos specifically for FMA. And these knives, these four here, specifically for FMA. These four in the center, the two bolos with the holes and the two knives next to it. This type of bolo in the Philippines, this is used like as a chopper. Like when you go to the market and they're chopping up chicken or chopping up pork in the mercado, that's what they're using this type here. But I thought they looked cool, so I use them in my training. And these two knives next to them are actually kitchen knives that I bought at a local like discount department store, and I didn't pay much. I think I paid 115 pesos each, so 230. So that's what, $4 and what, 60 cents for the pair of knives. And I think I paid 190 each for these two bolos with the holes. So that's not quite $4 each for those. So you don't have to spend a ton of money. I'm not rich, and I'm certainly not going to spend a lot of money on things when I can make my own or get a bargain. So that's our intro on training weapons. I hope you enjoyed it. Daghang salamat kaayo. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, everybody. And as always, amping kanunay. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time. Bye now.